Happy Thursday, everybody. Today is our first installment of Chatty Patty time on weight loss surgery. I have Barry here. He's here. Today we're going to take it to the very beginning because people are starting out, and I think every week we're just going to do it from the beginning to the process till after, so we could, maybe you could know how it all works. I guess today while I'm here, I'm going to try this. I guess we're getting into this mukbang stuff. Hopefully this doesn't equal a spit take. The first thing that we're going to talk about is how this process starts. Basically, how do you get to the surgery part? So the first things first is generally some people, I didn't have to do it, but some people usually will go to their primary doctor and they will get a referral for a bariatric surgeon. I didn't have to get a referral. I just called one up and scheduled an appointment. I had gone through the process once 4 years ago, and my apartment had flooded, so I couldn't be a part of it anymore. Because you have to be there. This is just not a physical situation. This is a mental thing. So being homeless wasn't really appropriate for weight loss surgery at the time. And so I ended up not getting it, and it took me another 4 years to decide that I want to do it again. So again, I didn't have to speak to my primary doctor in regards to a referral, or if they agreed or didn't agree with it prior to me going to a bariatric surgeon. So I literally, the surgeon I had 4 years prior, he had moved on. I had planned on going back to the same doctor, but he had moved on to another state to perform his surgeries, and so I had called a different one, which was a little bit further away. But I have Medicaid, so I can use the free car ride service. Medicaid pays for a cab. So, oh, that's got a funky smell. Kind of smells like Jell-O. I guess we know that is no. Something that will happen to you after your surgery is when things are too sweet, like this, it could bother you. This is a little too sweet, but so I had contacted a surgeon on my own. I made an official consult. So what happens in the first in the consult is some surgeons will make you go to a seminar prior to that appointment. Mine, I didn't have to go to the seminar prior, and I could also do mine online because I don't have a car and I don't drive. So and that's one thing that medical transportation won't cover, is to something like that. So I was able to do my my seminar online. Some surgeons will do that. Some surgeons don't do a seminar, but they want to make sure that when you're coming in there for that first appointment, that you're kind of aware of what's going to happen here. I guess it's their way of weeding people out, make sure people are going in it from the right intentions. So for me, when I got to my first appointment, when I went home, I did the seminar at home. So but I definitely did it, and they will know you did it because it's through their website, and they you're required to log in with your email address. So when I did that, I did that, and then when I got to my appointment, first off, they're going to question you. They're going to question to see what your intentions are. Like I said in a prior video, looks has to be on the low of the totem pole. The look part you may not be happy with what you get after surgery. I mean, sure, being skinny is awesome, but then there's the other issues like loose skin and such. So when they ask you what your intentions are, your health has to come first. For me, I had a hiatal hernia, which was, causing me a hard time to eat, and I had been pre-diabetic a few times. I also have bad family genes, as in diabetes, and as well as heart problems and blood pressure problems and all kinds of other issues. So that's something they're going to look for. They are going to weigh you, of course. Every appointment you go to see the surgeon, you're going to be weighed. So you're going to do that, and generally they would like you to be, somewhere around 39-ish on the BMI schedule, 39 BMI. I was 41, but if you're slightly under, you have to have at least 2 comorbidities, meaning, you have to have diabetes, high blood pressure, stuff like that. So that's important. So they will ask you which procedure you want, but that may not be your case. I was going in for the sleeve because that's what I wanted the last time, 4 years ago. Originally I was going to go for the lap band, but I had someone said don't do that because the sleeve is a lot better than the lap band. And from what I've heard over the years, that is the truth. The lap band is done, not happening anymore. No one's going to be doing it. So they'll ask you that, but like I said, that may not be the route that you're going to be going. So what they will do is they will schedule you for an upper endoscopy, and they have to check to see how things are going on the inside. They look for ulcers, they look for polyps. In my case, like I said, I had a hiatal hernia that was going to be needing to be repaired, so they had to see how bad it is. Because if my hiatal hernia was worse than it was, then I would have to have gotten the bypass instead of the sleeve. But that's, we could talk about that later. So in that initial appointment, you're gonna talk about that. You're gonna talk about, the reasons why you're going to get it, and then you're gonna sign a contract stating, after all that, you're going to sign a contract that says, you're going to follow the plan. They're going to tell you, depending on your insurance, it could be a 3 to 6 month process, depending on your insurance. Mine was a 4-month process. So in this contract, you're going to sign stating that in the 4 months that you are going to follow through on seeing your surgeon every month until that surgical date, as well as a nutritionist every month up until that date, as well as you have to attend support groups. Maybe your surgeon has a support group there. Mine was at a hospital. I think in this case scenario, my surgeon kind of had an honor system about it. The last surgeon I had, the nutritionist would actually record whether or not you were going. But I went, and I still go because it is helpful. It is the key to success. So if you get yourself, it really is important to go to the support group. Of course, there are Facebook groups, but it is Facebook. So along with that, they're gonna give you a stack of tests and stuff that are gonna have to be done. You're gonna have to see other specialists, depending on comorbidities. You may get out of some of them. Like I did not have to see I didn't have to see the doctor that deals with diabetes because I don't have diabetes. So it's generally you have to see a cardiologist, pulmonologist. You have a ton of blood work that's going to have to be done. Like I said, the upper endoscopy to see what's going on inside, and from there they will generally choose the right surgical path for you. I mean, you could agree to disagree on that. I mean, I wanted the sleeve, and it was said that if my hernia was bad, that I would have to get the bypass, but knock on wood, it wasn't that case. So I was kind of on the small side. I'm 5'1", and I was 228 when I had seen the surgeon for the first appointment. So if I had gotten the bypass instead of the sleeve, I probably could suffer from malnutrition. Now, the difference between the sleeve and the bypass, okay, so this is Barry the sleeve. So in the bypass, they're going to create a pouch and they're going to reroute the intestines. But in the sleeve, depending on how big your stomach is, they will remove somewhere between 70 and 90%. I had 80% removed. So this is the stomach, and then they just cut away and then it's removed. I mean, I have not had a problem with it. Some people say that you can still suffer from heartburn, or, you know, if you didn't suffer from heartburn before, this probably wouldn't be the route for you, but they fixed my hernia, and I have been off all heartburn medicine since surgery, and I don't need it anymore. So, but everyone will react to that differently, so don't go by me. So, you know, that's that. So they're going to give you that, and they're going to give you a timeline as to when you're going to need all these tests done. You don't just go and do it right away, because like with the cardiologist, their surgical clearance only lasts for 30 days. So you probably have that one closer to when you get your date. So then that's that. And the surgeon generally doesn't, I mean, in my case, my surgeon did not give me a diet plan prior to surgery. I was not really required to lose weight prior to surgery, although it was highly encouraged. Although when I went for this the process 4 years ago, I was required to lose about 20 pounds. This time I wasn't, but you probably should. It'd probably be the best case scenario for that. I mean, when you go to see your nutritionist for the first time, it's going to be a nutrition meeting. They're going to teach you how to eat properly prior to surgery, but that diet will not be the one you're going to be following after surgery. But it's, to help you to lose the weight prior to surgery. And like I said, you're going to have to check out the support group. If your surgeon may require it, may have one in his office, may have to go to one at the hospital. And I highly suggest making sure it is definitely 100% a bariatric surgery support group, not so much Overeaters Anonymous. I mean, I don't know if that one would hurt, but they would really prefer you to go to one that's geared towards that, because I'm not really sure if they discuss that. So let's see. Oh, you're also going to need a psych consult, because like I said, with the surgery, you're going to have to be there all in, medically and physically, because it can be draining, and it can be, like I said, it can be just, it'll whoop your ass if you're not ready for it, and they want to make sure that you're ready medically and physically, mentally and physically, because the mental part is the big one, because you can sabotage yourself after surgery. But don't be afraid of the psychology consult. It can, one thing that they'll probably do is they'll suggest that you can continue with therapy after surgery. I already had a therapist, so that was it. I didn't need to deal with that. I also have a psychiatrist, and I work with her as well. So that's episode number 1 in the series, is how the first appointment goes. So next Thursday, I'm going to do this every Thursday. Me and Barry here are going to do this every Thursday, and next week we're going to discuss what happens after the first consult. So this is just the introduction. Remember to hit that like button, subscribe, and invite anybody you know who is either having the surgery, or maybe a family member of yours, and you're having the surgery and you want them to understand. Again, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a bariatric surgeon, but I want to discuss it, and this is disgusting. This is probably one of the worst protein drinks I've ever had. But, it's a win or lose situation. But hopefully for you it'll be a lose situation, as in you'll lose the weight. And so that's that. So I'll see you again next week for Chatty Patty Bariatric Talk Time. And remember, when you look good, you feel good.